Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aaron on Wrestling. Thank you for watching this very special episode as I'm joined by life coach, personal trainer, fitness model, and wrestler, Sadie Gibbs. Sadie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. How's second lockdown been for you?
To be honest, the one thing I found hard is just not having the freedom to do, what you want and go train where you want and kind of try new things and obviously wrestling.
Hmm.
But it is what it is, and we've all got to get through it. We're all in the same boat, and I'm just really grateful for kind of what I have in my life right now. And yeah, I can't complain, to be honest.
Yeah. Speaking of that, like on your Instagram and all your socials, you come across as an extremely positive person. Now, do you think that's something that you've always had, or do you think that's something you've had to develop with being a life coach and a personal trainer?
Being 100% honest, I have always been a very positive person. When I started doing all my self-development books, I realized it was stuff that I did innately. It was natural to me. Whereas for some people, it's I'm not saying like as I've got older, staying positives become harder. I would say because you get more, you get more setbacks, more rejections,
More
more,
pressure.
and yeah, more pressure, and just it does become harder to stay more positive and kind of that have that self-belief and that freedom within yourself and your mind. As you get older, you start to feel the pressures of ticking boxes and just living your life in a certain way, which I never felt when I was younger. So I guess as I've got older, I do a lot more self-development. I do a lot of meditation, and just like this morning I've taught 2 classes, and one was a yoga and meditating class, which is lovely. um so yeah, I do a lot more of that as I've got older, and I'd say I'm less. Yeah, I manage it more to stay positive rather than before. It was just kind of emotional roller coaster all the time. Then I'd find my way back to a positive. Whereas now I'm more self-aware. So yeah, I guess I practice it more now.
On So one of the questions I did want to ask you, because mainly I want to talk to you about like what's the future for Sadie Gibbs, but there's one match in particular that I think you wrestled a wrestler that I think's truly really underrated, and that's ODB.
Yeah.
And not only did you wrestle her, but you beat her for the vacant DWA title at the time.
Yes, I got the title. Yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about that experience. Was it great wrestling ODB? Was it fantastic picking up your first title? Talk
I
me
mean,
through that.
it's definitely one of my favourite matches that I've ever had. She's just really genuine. Like, obviously, she's so really experienced. So going on our match prep and everything we planned, it was just like she just wanted me to have as much involvement as possible. Where she's, in my eyes at the time, she was like this pro. I thought, yeah, you tell me, like we'll work around what you want to do, blah blah blah. And yeah, but she was just really genuine and just. Oh, it was just an incredible match in itself, and yeah, we really had a lot of chemistry in the ring. So thoroughly enjoyed that match.
What's it
And
like
to
being a
win a title,
champion?
yeah, well, that was my first ever belt, and it's the only one I've obtained so far in my career. But I would say that's when I started to fly and do really well in wrestling. When I got that belt, that was when I felt like I was on my way, to becoming Sadie Gibbs. But yeah, to be a champion, it was incredible. It was really good because I love Germany. They've been nothing but amazing to me. They've had me out there for most of their matches until they closed down DWA. I think they're going to be bringing it back. I'm not sure, but they closed it down, didn't they? Because the shows just wasn't getting as packed out as what they used to. But out there, and DWA in itself was, I couldn't have wished for a better place to win my first championship. Really, it was just, yeah, it was really, really good. Great experience. Considering I started I think I went out there I'd only been wrestling for 5-6 months, and they booked me. So I started off really green out there on my first match, really.
Your
And
rise
actually,
was quite meteoric in a way. You kind of burst onto the scene. I think I remember seeing you on Lucha London. I think that was the first show I think I saw you on.
yeah, that with
Um,
Neil Samuels.
I think so, yes. Yeah. That might have even been your first match entirely.
It was my first match, yeah.
Yeah.
3 months into my career. So I
Um,
just started, that was my first ever match. Yeah.
with with like ODB and Nina Samuels, what advice have they given you, or it doesn't have to be them, but any particular people giving you advice or words of wisdom that you've taken on or gained the most from?
I mean, from ODB, it was more just always stay yourself and kind of, yeah, carry yourself as who you are and don't try and mold to fit a certain no comparison. I think that's what most experienced wrestlers would say. Try not to compare yourself, because it really is. And it's kind of the advice I gave myself. I really come into wrestling and just saw it as a chance just to be who I am and just evolve and be creative and just have fun with myself, really, and my ego, because we've all got egos, and that's what wrestling is. It's just being that huge alter ego, that massive energy, and just inspiring people, I think. And for me, the best advice I could have been given is just always stand by that and live by that. And yeah, kind of don't let the comparison side and maybe the politics bring you down and hold you back, because it can. If I was going to give anyone advice, don't let the politics and opinions of others hold you back. You just got to keep headstrong and do you. That would be it. Do you in the best way you can. Because that's what wrestling is. People buy into you as a character and who you are. And I think from day one, I really just came in with my own ideas. No one got the Amazing Grace at first, but I did. And the reason behind it for me was very strong. And it made me excel in my first, year of wrestling, because I had a strong character but belief behind what I was doing. Whereas everyone would be like, why the Amazing Grace? You're not religious. You're not this. And it's like, well, how do you know my beliefs? What my beliefs are. How do you know how I got into wrestling? How do you know how it's made me feel and what is? And it was all about grace for me. And when I started wrestling, it was kind of everything else come together. Gymnastics, which I felt like a failure in. I felt like I didn't do where I could have got, because I got a mental block going backwards. And then there was bodybuilding. I got to a certain extent in that, and then I realized it wasn't for me. And it all came together. Stage presence, everything came together for wrestling in the WWE tryout. And that's when I was like, Grace, I've just given me a sense of grace. And then I was like, the Amazing Grace.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no one got that. But that's what I mean by coming to wrestling with your beliefs and your reasons why you're doing it, because if you don't, you'll get chewed up. That's the only way I can put it. It's a tough industry, but it's worth it.
So you've wrestled in Japan, England, America, and as we mentioned, Germany. Where do you want to go next? Where do you want to return to?
I would love to go back out to Japan, just because of the style of wrestling. I just felt like that's where I found myself out there in the ring. Found myself in the ring, definitely, and just I love the strong style. I love the fact that sometimes I'd get a kick to the face and really, really it was a stiff kick. That sounds really nuts, but as you know, I'm an aggressive wrestler. That was my character. So anything that brought out that aggression even more, really excelled my character. So I'd love to go back out there, but as I said, I didn't end on good terms with Stardom, so it will probably be with a different promotion. We'll see, but I need to look into that. But obviously, with my granddad passing, when all that went, just how they dealt, how the main guy of it all, which you must know, obviously, dealt with it all. It's just different cultures, I guess, and everything. But it was kind of like, this is business, you stay. And I was like, I'm not missing my granddad's funeral. It's first, if you've ever had a loss in your family, being the first loss I've ever had to experience, it was tough, and I just felt numb when I was out there. There was no way I could perform again. We were going to theme parks and just doing things, and my family's at home grieving the first massive loss. It just wasn't right. So in the end, I had to just leave, which it's really out there. I would love to have shook everyone's hand, say I'm going, but it was kind of like he wasn't going to let me go. So it was like I had to do it all myself and get myself back.
Yeah.
Integrity, It didn't do me any wrong though, because everything worked out as it should have. Came back. I ended up being signed, and that probably wouldn't have happened if I was still out there. So, yeah.
I mean, the Japanese culture is very professional first, family second sort of thing, which places like AEW and everywhere really, it's not that way around.
That's a really good way of wording it, what you just said, professionals and then values after. And yeah, that was literally the case. This is why I've got nothing. I physically couldn't go back and work for them now, just because, you know, I'm not a pawn in the game. I'm a human being. And as with my integrity and my values and morals, yeah, I just wouldn't treat someone like that. I wouldn't treat anyone who was an employee, nothing like that, you know. Yeah.
Also,
mental health and well-being's everything.
Yeah. Also, with the fact that, you know, you're looking after someone else in the ring, it's their safety first as well, and that things must bear on your mind. You know, you can have things on your mind in times like that, and so you're not always going to be putting that first, sort of thing. You're going to have them things on your mind.
No, and like I said, you've got to be strong in that world. You've got to be able to. You've got to have your stuff together, because, like I said, it can be very political, and if you'll end up making mistakes that aren't part of your character, and just, yeah, which isn't good. So for me, in the place I was in, I really needed to get home, because I wasn't in a good place. But yeah. So hopefully I'll get another opportunity out there. You know, there's plenty of divisions, but we'll see. We'll see what's for me. We'll see what's in store.
So COVID has kind of put everything back for wrestling. You know, no one's really progressed, apart from main shows like AEW and WWE, who've been able to keep running. What does the next year hold for Sadie Gibbs, the wrestler? What's the plans? What's the goals?
Being 100% honest with you, I'm a little bit confused in that side of my life at the moment. I was in my flow. Was it when did I get signed? 2019?
Yeah.
2019. So from that 2018 to 2019, I felt like I was in my flow. Had the goal. I was headstrong in getting there, and that was always WWE, because obviously that's where I started in the tryout. But then I ended up getting signed by AEW, and I thought, oh, this is great. You know, they're going to bring back some old school wrestling. It's going to be that kind of the time that I really loved, which was like Lita and the really dark, dingy, hardcore time, you know. Got signed by them, and of course they were starting out, so just finding which wrestlers are going to be what part for the company. And then I felt like my career kind of slowed down there. I was going out there, but I wasn't wrestling. I wasn't getting into matches, and I lost some self-confidence in wrestling. If this is me being 100% honest, I started to lose my confidence, because when you go from feeling like, oh, I'm finding myself, you know, new moves, everything, I was really getting everything together, to just like, boom, being signed, which should be an amazing feeling, and it was. But then it's like kind of getting invited to the best party and getting there, and, you know, you feel like you're not wanted. That's the only way I can describe it. It's not that I wasn't wanted, but it's kind of, you have that essence of imposter syndrome. Am I good enough to be here? Should I be here? And all those negative thoughts, which I said, I'm not normally one of them people that have them. I've got a lot of self-belief. I thrive and I fuel off of that. And when it's not there, it kind of creates, I don't know, that self-doubt, which, you know, unfortunately a lot of people do live their life by, and it's not a nice feeling. So I think for me, it's just getting myself back out there now, I'm in my element when I'm training. Like, that's where my confidence is high, when I'm training, when I'm wrestling, you know, because I know that I did feel talented in wrestling, and I did feel like it was always meant to be, and that was my greatness. We all search for our greatness, and wrestling felt like that it was for me. So I just need to get that back, really, and I need the right opportunity to come my way to build that back up and bring that back into myself, because obviously year out, nowhere to train really. There's no, you're not allowed to have the schools open and everything, you know, gyms aren't even allowed to be open at the moment. So it's kind of like, I'm just doing what I can at the moment to, like we all are, just to keep myself up there, keep my confidence up, and just see what happens with the wrestling once the world's normal. But at the moment, I've got no clarity in it.
I mean, you're a very talented performer, and I don't think anyone who had the kind of like getting signed so early and going to stardom so early and all these things that happen to you, that wouldn't have been given to someone that doesn't have talent. So
I know it did always feel like it was meant to be. That's the only way I could put it. Any goal I got had to debut in 3 months happened. Go to Japan within 2 months of thinking that fall. I mean, I obviously wanted to do it from the very start. I knew stardom was the place to get to. It happened, and it was kind of like every little goal I put in place, be on the front page of the leaflets they give out, be the main face of that. Little goals, and they all kind of happened, and it felt like wrestling was, my thing, and it was meant to be. But I do believe in everything happens for a reason. I believe I'm in this still point for a reason now, and whatever comes my way, I'm hoping that will be where I was always meant to end up. And if I could choose, it would be right now. Probably, I'd love to go back to AEW, but it would need to be with a performance element to it, so like the performance school that the WWE NXT has. In the UK, that's also an option for me at the moment. That would be amazing. I think I can really grow there. But like I said, I'm trying to stay with a level-headed approach. I'm not getting my hurt until something comes my way and I'm signing something, or there's a discussion about something. I don't want to get too excited, but I have got the thoughts in my head from where I want it to go, but it's kind of not gripping onto them too much, because it can I've already taken a lot last year with losing the opportunity that I just started. So I've got my head around all that and I'm in a positive place again. And now anything that comes my way would just be amazing. So
fantastic. So you just spoke about a few different promotions. If I go through the promotions, would you be able to tell me who on that roster you would most like to wrestle? Don't really have to give me a reason why, but just out of interest. So I'm going to put Raw and SmackDown into one, because they do flitter about quite a bit. So Raw and SmackDown, who would you like to wrestle?
Natalia.
Oh, okay.
Natalia, I love her. Rhea Ripley.
Fantastic choice.
She has debuted on them. Yeah, definitely. She's always been. I mean, she's completely evolved and transformed as a character, isn't she?
Yeah, you look at her like 5 years ago, and then look at her now. It's a totally different character.
Just evolved. That's just the real. It's just incredible how her character's evolved. She's really found herself. So those two would be my main ones if I had to. Yeah, and if I can say another one, it would probably be Sasha Banks as well. I think she's awesome.
Fantastic. NXT or NXT UK?
Of course, the NXT in the States would be amazing, but with a starting point again and still being quite young in the business, I would say I'd be happy to kind of start the UK and hopefully work my way to the top there, and then get pushed out to America. That would probably be the step for me. Yeah, that's how I'd probably want.
Kaylee Ray, would it be that you'd like to face?
Yeah, I faced her actually in a match, but I was very, very nervous in that match. If I was talking about it, because I always saw her as an incredible wrestler, full of energy. But yeah, that match was great. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I have wrestled her in Eve.
Yeah. At AEW, if you used to go back, who would be your main person you'd like to go against there?
Chris Statlander.
Okay. Injured at the moment, unfortunately, but
no, but she's getting there. I watch all her training videos. She seems she's jumping and stuff now, so I don't think it'll be long till she's back. But yeah, her character's just awesome, and I just think her athleticism and she's just got that balance between kind of feminine and badass, and they're as you probably seen by all my choices, they're my favorite wrestlers. Impact. I wanted to say about it. Is Tessa Blanchard still wrestling? Because she's like a bit like me at the moment. There's a question there, isn't there? Is she wrestling? There's like people. Is Sadie going to be wrestling again? Because we're both not. It would be her. But I haven't heard anything about her wrestling recently.
So she's
So I don't
no
know.
longer with Impact. I don't think she's signed anywhere yet. So
With AEW, I think personally, just because of her dad, as well being with the company, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think if she's going to come back, she'll be in AEW, and it will be amazing. Yeah, if I could put together a roster in my head, a female roster, it would. Yeah, I could put.
I've got
cool
I've got Stardom down, or just anyone in the Japanese wrestling scene. Who would it be?
I've wrestled Miko.
Okay.
She was always my main. She was always the main one that I wanted to. She's actually signed with the NXT UK now, isn't she?
Yes.
Anyway, but I wrestled her in outdoors, which was amazing in Europe. So that was cool. I'm trying to remember the exact place we were now.
If you was to pick a tag team partner, would she be someone that would be in the mix?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Is there anyone else that you think, oh, actually, that if I was to tag with someone, that would be the person?
Yes, probably everyone I've listed off would be someone I'd like to tag with. Definitely Natalia. Yeah.
And last one, someone no longer wrestles. If you was to pick someone, you said Lita earlier. I don't know if that would be someone that you'd like to wrestle.
If we went way back, it would definitely be Lita. She's just all-time favourite. Everything about her presence, and I feel like she really brought the badass into female wrestling. In my opinion.
Definitely.
So yeah, it would be her. I'll just won't saturate it. I'll stick to Lita on that.
Well, you were speaking earlier about your life coaching and personal training. Did you just want to speak about like the undefinable fitness side of things quickly? And I'll put a link in the description below.
Yeah, so as everyone would know, is I was doing that alongside wrestling, which allowed me the freedom to pursue wrestling as well as working. So I've been in the industry now for 11 years, and it's evolved to undefinable fitness as I've evolved and kind of done my own things and grown myself. So the whole thing with undefinable fitness is it's not all about just transformations. I don't want it just to be about physical aesthetic transformations. It's more about like mental well-being, and just generally having people feel good and have a better perception towards their lifestyle and their life. And I think that's where I'm going with the lifestyle coaching. I'm really passionate about it, and I think when you go through stuff in your own life and you're trying to pursue stuff in your own life, you can really help others do the same. So yeah, that's the goal really, just to build like a nation, almost like an undefinable community online, which allows me to still travel with wrestling once I'm back up doing it. So that's been the goal over the lockdowns, just to use my time productively, and of course have an income as well, and just so it's been really good, and I think it's all going in positive directions. This year I've done my website. It's like really professional now, and it's got a shop on there for the fitness and the merchandise, and everything's going well. That's just what I said. I can't complain. I'm very instinctive with myself and my business and my life, so I do feel like everything that's meant to be will come together as it always has. So yeah, I definitely think it's not over for wrestling for me. I've had a few people reach out with a few videos I posted recently, and that's people in the industry who mentioned about the WWE UK one. They're surprised that they haven't reached out, but I have heard from them, just to put that out there. But we'll see where that goes. I'm not, like I said, until I get something in paper and an email and I've got a date, I'm not getting excited. But they've all said that you'll be a wasted talent. Don't let it go, because it is easy to kind of get to that point where you're like, all the fear kind of sets in, and you're like, oh, I've been out of it for so long now. But I know as soon as I got, like, every now and again I'll be with a friend or something, I'll throw a kick, like just to skim the face or something. It's just in me, and I love it, So yeah, I'll be back in that ring. That's the aim. But everything alongside with the fitness business is also allowing people, fans that have now become friends, who are part of the Undefinable 30 Days. It's amazing to be working with people that have followed me and been fans for so long. And now they've become friends and clients of mine. So it's great.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I'll put all your links and all your socials below. And there's, I'm very confident that we're going to have a fantastic year for Sadie Gibbs. So I really, really do hope for the best.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. Add me on Twitter at Aaron Washer, and I will see you all soon.